Our planet is a blue planet. From space, the vastness of the oceans is readily apparent. One such body of water, nestled within the northern part of Europe, is the Baltic Sea. The Baltic Sea is a sea of contrasts, a place where fresh water and salt water meet and mingle. This delicate dance of salinity creates a unique ecosystem. The Baltic Sea is home to various species of fish, including herring, cod, and sprat. Birdwatchers flock to the Baltic Sea to witness the impressive array of bird life that depends on its rich ecosystem. The Baltic Sea faces numerous environmental challenges. Pollution from industrial and agricultural runoff threatens the delicate balance of this unique ecosystem. Eutrophication, caused by excess nutrients entering the water, leads to algal blooms. Climate change also casts a long shadow over the Baltic Sea. Overfishing is another pressing concern. Despite these challenges, hope remains for the Baltic Sea. The Baltic Sea is relatively shallow compared to the vast expanse of the open ocean. Its average depth is a mere 55 meters. The Baltic's shallow depths mean that sunlight can penetrate to the seafloor in many areas. However, this shallowness also makes the Baltic more vulnerable to pollution. The Baltic Sea's origins can be traced back to the last ice age. As massive glaciers advanced across northern Europe, they carved out the landscape. When the glaciers retreated around 12,000 years ago, the weight of the ice lifted. The Baltic Sea has undergone significant changes in its salinity and water level since its formation. The Baltic Sea is renowned for its countless islands. These islands, ranging in size from tiny skerries to large landmasses, add to the beauty and ecological diversity of the region. The largest archipelago in the Baltic Sea is the Finnish archipelago. Another notable archipelago is the Stockholm archipelago, located on the east coast of Sweden. The Baltic Sea, despite its seemingly calm surface, is a dynamic environment subject to various physical processes. One intriguing phenomenon is the Baltic Sea's breath, a rhythmic rise and fall of its water level caused by changes in atmospheric pressure. The Baltic Sea's breath is most pronounced in the narrow gulfs and bays along its coastline. The Baltic Sea exhibits a fascinating duality. Its salinity gradient creates a unique environment that supports a diverse array of life. In the northern reaches of the Baltic, where fresh water from rivers dominates, salinity is low. As one ventures southward, the influence of salt water from the North Sea becomes more pronounced. The brackish waters of the Baltic Sea present a unique challenge for marine life. Organisms living in this environment must be able to tolerate a wide range of salinity. One such adaptation is osmoregulation, the ability to control the balance of salt and water within their bodies. Another adaptation observed in Baltic Sea organisms is their tolerance to low oxygen levels. The Baltic Sea harbors its own gentle giants, harbor seals and grey seals. Harbor seals are often spotted basking on rocky shores. Grey seals, larger and more robust, prefer to haul out on remote islands and skerries. Conservation efforts are underway to protect these iconic species and ensure their continued presence in the Baltic Sea. The Baltic Sea, with its diverse coastline, islands, and wetlands, is a haven for birds, attracting a breathtaking array of species throughout the year. From migratory birds to resident species, the region is alive with avian life. During migrations, millions of birds fill the skies, making their way between breeding and wintering grounds. The Baltic Sea coast provides crucial stopover points for these weary travelers. Iconic Arctic terns travel from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back each year. The Baltic Sea's shallow waters provide a vital feeding ground for these incredible birds. The islands and archipelagos provide essential nesting grounds for seabirds. These birds rely on the island's isolation and lack of predators to raise their young. The cliffs and rocky shores offer ideal nesting sites, providing protection from predators. The Baltic Sea's wetlands are teeming with birdlife. These habitats provide ideal feeding and breeding grounds for a diverse array of species. The Symphony of Birdsong around the Baltic Sea is a testament to the region's ecological richness. The Baltic Sea, a stage for countless historical dramas, has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the clash of cultures, and the enduring spirit of exploration and trade. Among the most iconic seafarers were the Vikings, fierce warriors and skilled navigators. Emerging from Scandinavia in the late 8th century, the Vikings embarked on daring voyages across the Baltic and beyond, driven by a thirst for adventure and new lands. Their longships allowed them to navigate the Baltic's intricate coastlines. The Vikings were not only fearsome raiders, but also savvy traders and explorers. They established trade routes across the Baltic, connecting Scandinavia with the Byzantine Empire in the east and the British Isles in the west. These trade routes brought exotic goods such as silks, spices, and silver to Scandinavia, transforming Viking society and fueling their expansion. The Vikings established settlements along the Baltic coast, from the trading hub of Birka in Sweden to the fortress of Hedeby in Denmark. These settlements served as bases for trade, shipbuilding, and military expeditions, consolidating Viking influence in the region. The Vikings' mastery of the Baltic Sea allowed them to exert their dominance for centuries, shaping the political and cultural landscape of Northern Europe. Their legacy lives on in the place names, archaeological sites, and cultural traditions that dot the Baltic region, reminding us of their seafaring prowess and the enduring impact of their voyages. As the Viking Age waned, a new power emerged in the Baltic region, the Hanseatic League. This powerful trading alliance, formed in the 13th century, would dominate Baltic trade for centuries, connecting distant lands and shaping the economic landscape of Northern Europe. The Hanseatic League, initially an association of German merchants, grew to encompass over 100 cities and towns around the Baltic Sea. Its members, united by their common interest in trade and mutual protection, established a network of trading posts, warehouses, and shipping routes that facilitated the flow of goods across the region. The Hanseatic League's success was built on its ability to maintain order and security in the often turbulent waters of the Baltic. Its ships, armed and sailing in convoys, provided protection from pirates and other threats, ensuring the safe passage of goods. The League also established its own legal system and courts to resolve disputes among its members, fostering trust and cooperation within the alliance. The Hanseatic League's dominance of Baltic trade had a profound impact on the region's economy and society. It brought wealth and prosperity to its member cities, fueling their growth and transforming them into centers of commerce and culture. The League's influence extended beyond economics, shaping the political landscape of the Baltic region and playing a role in shaping the Hanseatic architecture, with its distinctive red brick buildings and stepped gables, can still be admired in cities like Lübeck, Hamburg, and Gdansk, a testament to the League's enduring legacy. The Baltic Sea for millennia has been a source of fascination and desire, not only for its strategic importance, but also for its natural treasures, most notably amber. This fossilized tree resin, prized for its beauty and rarity, has been traded along the Baltic coast since prehistoric times, connecting the region with distant lands and cultures. Amber, with its warm golden hues and ability to trap insects and other organic matter within its translucent depths, was highly sought after by ancient civilizations. It was used to create jewelry, ornaments, and religious artifacts, believed to possess mystical properties. trade routes known as the amber routes emerged along the Baltic coast, connecting the amber-rich regions of the south with the Mediterranean, the Middle East, and beyond. These routes, traversing land and sea, facilitated the exchange of amber, along with other goods, such as furs, slaves, and metals, between the Baltic region and the wider world. The wealth generated by the amber trade had a significant impact on the Baltic region, contributing to the rise of powerful settlements and kingdoms. Amber, often referred to as Baltic gold, became a symbol of status and wealth, adorning the crowns and jewels of rulers and elites. The Baltic Sea's amber trade, spanning millennia, highlights the region's long-standing connections with the wider world. It underscores the enduring allure of this natural treasure, which continues to captivate and inspire to this day. The Baltic Sea, once a stage for Viking voyages and Hanseatic trade, remains a vital maritime hub in the modern era, connecting Northern Europe with the rest of the world. Its strategic location, at the crossroads of major shipping routes, makes it a crucial waterway for international trade, passenger transport, and energy transport. The Baltic Sea is home to several major ports, including Rotterdam, Hamburg, Gdansk, and St. Petersburg, which handle millions of containers, bulk cargo, and passengers each year. These ports serve as gateways for goods flowing between Northern Europe, Scandinavia, Russia, and beyond, connecting the region to global markets. The Baltic Sea's importance for energy transport has grown significantly in recent decades. The discovery of significant oil and natural gas reserves in the North Sea and the Baltic Sea itself has led to the development of offshore platforms, pipelines, and terminals, transforming the region into an energy hub. The Baltic Sea's maritime industry faces numerous challenges in the 21st century, including competition from other regions, environmental concerns, and geopolitical tensions. However, the Baltic Sea's strategic location, well-developed infrastructure, and skilled workforce continue to make it a vital maritime hub, playing a crucial role in the global economy and connecting Northern Europe with the rest of the world. As we look to the future, the Baltic Sea is poised to remain a vital waterway, adapting to new challenges and opportunities while continuing to shape the destinies of the nations and people along its shores. The Baltic Sea, a seemingly tranquil expanse of water, belies a delicate ecosystem facing unprecedented challenges. Decades of intensive human activity have taken their toll, pushing this unique sea to the brink. Pollution, habitat degradation, and climate change have combined to create a perfect storm, threatening the health and resilience of this vital ecosystem. The Baltic Sea, being relatively shallow and enclosed, is particularly vulnerable to pollution. Industrial waste, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage from surrounding countries flow into its waters, carrying a toxic cocktail of chemicals, nutrients, and plastics. These pollutants accumulate in the food chain, poisoning marine life and jeopardizing human health. The Baltic Sea's delicate salinity balance, a defining characteristic of this unique ecosystem, is also under threat. Climate change is altering precipitation patterns, leading to increased freshwater runoff from rivers. This influx of freshwater is disrupting the delicate balance between freshwater and saltwater, with potentially devastating consequences for marine life adapted to specific salinity levels. Overfishing, driven by increasing demand and unsustainable fishing practices, has decimated fish stocks, disrupting the delicate balance of the marine food web. The collapse of key species, such as cod, has cascading effects throughout the ecosystem, impacting predators, prey, and the overall health of the sea. One of the most pressing environmental challenges facing the Baltic Sea is eutrophication, a process fueled by excess nutrients entering the water. While nutrients are essential for marine life, excessive amounts, primarily from agricultural runoff and sewage discharges, have devastating consequences. These nutrients, like fertilizers used in agriculture, act like a supercharge for algae, triggering massive blooms that spread across the water's surface. These algal blooms, while visually striking, are a harbinger of ecological imbalance. As the algae die and decompose, they consume vast amounts of oxygen, creating oxygen-depleted dead zones where marine life struggles to survive. These dead zones, devoid of oxygen and teeming with decomposing organic matter, are spreading throughout the Baltic Sea, suffocating fish, shellfish, and other marine organisms. Eutrophication is not only an ecological disaster, but also an economic threat. The collapse of fish stocks, the decline in water quality, and the loss of recreational opportunities have significant economic repercussions for coastal communities that rely on a healthy Baltic Sea. Reducing nutrient pollution is crucial for mitigating eutrophication and restoring the health of the Baltic Sea. This requires a concerted effort from all countries bordering the sea, involving sustainable agricultural practices, improved sewage treatment, and stricter regulations on industrial discharges. Section 3. Toxic Legacies, a haunting reminder. The Baltic Sea bears the scars of past industrial practices, a haunting reminder of the long-lasting impacts of pollution. Decades of industrial activity, particularly during the Cold War era, have left behind a legacy of toxic contaminants that continue to haunt this fragile ecosystem. Industrial waste, often laden with heavy metals, persistent organic pollutants, and other hazardous substances, was discharged directly into the Baltic Sea, with little regard for the long-term consequences. These contaminants, resistant to degradation, persist in the environment for decades, accumulating in sediments, water, and the tissues of marine organisms. Heavy metals such as mercury, lead, and cadmium pose significant threats to marine life and human health. They can damage the nervous system, impair reproductive success, and cause developmental problems. Persistent organic pollutants, a group of highly toxic chemicals that include PCBs and DDT, are known to disrupt hormone function, impair immune systems, and potentially cause cancer. These toxic legacies are a stark reminder that the consequences of pollution can persist for generations, even after industrial practices have ceased. Addressing this legacy of contamination requires ongoing monitoring, research, and remediation efforts to mitigate the risks to both human and ecological health. Section 4. Charting a Sustainable Course. Despite the daunting environmental challenges facing the Baltic Sea, there is hope for its future. Growing awareness of the sea's plight, coupled with increasing scientific understanding and political will, is driving action to protect and restore this vital ecosystem. Countries bordering the Baltic Sea have made significant strides in recent decades in addressing pollution, reducing nutrient runoff, and promoting sustainable fishing practices. The Helsinki Commission, an intergovernmental organization established in 1974 to protect the marine environment of the Baltic Sea, has played a pivotal role in coordinating regional efforts. The Helsinki Commission, through its Baltic Sea Action Plan, has set ambitious targets for reducing pollution, combating eutrophication, and restoring the health of the Baltic Sea ecosystem. These efforts include implementing stricter regulations on industrial discharges, promoting sustainable agricultural practices, improving sewage treatment, and designating marine protected areas. Protecting the Baltic Sea requires a collective effort involving governments, industries, scientists, and citizens working together to reduce their impact and ensure the long-term health of this vital ecosystem. By embracing sustainable practices, investing in research and innovation, and fostering international cooperation, we can chart a course toward a cleaner, healthier, and more resilient Baltic Sea for generations to come. Section 1. A Sea of Hope. The Baltic Sea, a fragile jewel in Northern Europe, stands as a testament to our planet's interconnectedness. Its fate is linked to the actions of those who live along its shores. The challenges are significant but not insurmountable. There is hope, a growing awareness to reverse the tide of degradation. The Baltic Sea has shaped countless generations. Its rich cultural heritage is a testament to its enduring allure. The Baltic Sea is a sea of resilience, teeming with life. From plankton to grey seals, nature adapts and thrives. This resilience gives us hope for positive change. The future of the Baltic Sea hinges on our collective action. We must embrace sustainability, conservation, and cooperation. The time for decisive action is now. Section 2. Our Cosmic Duty. Just as the stars above have guided sailors across the Baltic Sea for centuries, so too must we look to a brighter future, guided by a shared commitment to safeguarding this precious resource for generations to come. Imagine a future where the Baltic Sea once again teems with life, its waters sparkling clean and its shores vibrant with biodiversity. Picture bustling fishing communities, their livelihoods secured by healthy fish stocks, and coastal towns thriving on sustainable tourism that celebrates the Baltic's natural beauty. Envision a future where children can swim in its waters without fear of pollution, and where the haunting specter of dead zones has faded into distant memory. This is the future we must strive for, a future where the Baltic Sea, restored to its former glory, stands as a beacon of hope for the planet. Achieving this vision requires a fundamental shift in our relationship with the natural world. We must recognize that we are not separate from nature, but rather an integral part of its delicate web of life. Our actions have consequences, and it is our cosmic duty to act as responsible stewards of our planet, ensuring its health and vitality for present and future generations. Let the Baltic Sea serve as a reminder that we are all connected, that our actions have global repercussions, and that together we have the power to create a more sustainable and harmonious future for all.